My name is Isaiah McGee. I'm gonna be covering about like some of the important stuff about what Fredrick Douglass did to help free the slaves. And so, Fredrick Douglass, he was interested. So back then, Fredrick Douglass was interested in the Civil War because he knew that it meant that if the North won, the slavery would be banned, basically. Slavery would be banned. And so he wanted the Civil War to go on because he also wanted blacks to also wanted blacks to jump in and help the North to beat the South. And so that's why if you guys look up and you see about the Civil War, and you see how blacks, it'll tell you that blacks, they were a part of the North and they was helping the North out. And so black people wanted, they also was interested in the Civil War. They also wanted to free themselves, basically to give them freedom, so they don't have to worry about staying in the North. Fredrick Douglass was interested in the Civil War because he knew that it meant that if the North won, many blacks, basically, if the North won, blacks wouldn't have to worry about slavery. They would ban slavery if the North won. So that's why if you look up the Civil War and you see that, that it says that blacks were helping the North out. They was in the Civil War. They was helping the North out because they wanted to ban slavery. They wanted to get rid of slavery. And so in the South, the people that were in the South they wanted slavery to keep going on. They wanted to keep having slaves, basically. They wanted slavery, they wanted, basically, how I see it, they wanted to be lazy. They wanted to keep slavery going on, so they won't have to do the hard work. So the Civil War was the North against the South. The North wanted to ban slavery, and the South wanted to keep slavery. So on the North side, they had, back when President Abraham Lincoln was president, Abraham Lincoln, he supported the North because he too wanted to ban slavery. He didn't want slavery to keep going on. But the South did. So basically, back then, the country was together, and so the South, they broke up because the North wanted slavery to be banned, and the South wanted slavery to keep going on. The Civil War was just basically fought against the North and South, and it was important for the North to win because of the North wanted slavery to be banned. If the South would have won, slavery would be still going on. So we will still be living as slaves. Blacks would still be living as slaves right now. Fredrick Douglass supported blacks to fight with the North. The blacks were fighting on the North because of Fredrick Douglass. Basically, he was supporting the blacks to fight on the North side to abolish slavery. And so on the South side, they basically said, no, we don't want to support that. We want slavery. And so they fought. So Fredrick Douglass, he had this friend named Josh Brown that was on the North side. No, John Brown. He had this friend named John Brown, this very close friend of his. John Brown, he was an abolitionist. Abolitionist is this group where blacks and whites wanted to get rid of slavery. And so John Brown, he was kind of like, John Brown to Fredrick Douglass, he was kind of like the action guy. He was kind of like, he wanted to take action. He wanted to demolish the South and get rid of slavery. So John Brown had this little scheme of his. He came up with this little scheme of his back then. to cut the basically to go into the South and try to start killing all the white people that didn't want to kill all the white people that wanted slavery. So John Brown, as he planned this scheme, as he did this scheme,
Was John Brown a white man or a black man?
John Brown, he was a white man. He was a white man, and so he as he did this scheme, as he went in and he took some blacks, and as he went in to go fight the South, him and all the rest and all the blacks that followed him, they all got slaughtered. And as Fredrick Douglass told him to not go because he didn't want him. He didn't think it was the time yet.
No, Fredrick Douglass didn't tell him not to go. Fredrick Douglass said that he wasn't going to go.
Yeah, John Brown wanted Fredrick Douglass to go, and so Fredrick Douglass, he told him no. Fredrick Douglass told John Brown no, that he didn't want to go because he didn't want to, he didn't just want to go march in to the enemy's territory and just start shooting and just take a chance of getting killed. And so as John Brown went, all his men and him got slaughtered. And so the major difference that he made was that he rallied the blacks so they can help the North side to win. And he also helped by giving his speeches, trying to get the South to agree with the North, basically. Fredrick Douglass, he was the first person to ever hold a political office because of his great speeches and because of basically his character. He was a U.S. Marshal, and so Fredrick Douglass, he's such a great icon because of, I believe that many blacks should really look at him and see how he was like basically one of the top black leaders in society. He was like one of the top black leaders back then.
Awesome job, man. So Fredrick Douglass is very important. He's a very important icon today for not just black people but for white people because he was instrumental in helping President Abraham Lincoln to put black people into the war and to help. Although I would say that there was a few other advanced technology that helped Abraham Lincoln win this war, such as the railroad system, and also they came up with the telegram system that they had, where they would use what was called the Morse code, going through the wires that's linked to the trains. Was able to get his messages and get his commands to his soldiers pretty quickly. So that's also a major part of how Abraham Lincoln won that war.